Okay. So this is what OB subject is going to cover. 4 blocks. In block 1, we are going to study what exactly is this organizational psychology. What is OB basically? What is the difference between organizational psychology? What is the difference? What is OB? What are the different concepts around OB? So it is all about an introduction to the organizational psychology, or OB is what we are actually covering in block 1. So whether there are models which talk about what comes under OB, definitions that talks about what is what exactly OB is, what is the importance of OB, what is the psychology and versus OB. So all those concepts are covered in block 1. Okay. Now block 2 covers various aspects of OB which were actually talked about in the concepts here. Okay. So first and foremost, the personality, that is a person and his attitude in the organizational behavior. So basically we are talking about a person and what is his attitude in the context of OB, right? So what exactly personality and attitude, so what exactly he feels about his, so now we are focusing on a person, right? What he thinks about job satisfaction, I mean whether he is really satisfied about the job, what are the factors that is going to affect him, what if he is not actually satisfied, what are the various theories in and around job satisfaction, what is motivation. So here it is covering the motivation part of the person, right? And various content theories which are talking about how exactly we can make the person content kind of a thing. Okay, and his commitment to the organization. So all these 4 are covering up focus thing on a person. We are talking about person and his attitude towards the behavior. That is what is block 2. Okay.
Okay.
Block 3. Now block 3 is covering about team, group. So here we are talking about how a leader can influence a group. What are the leadership styles? How he is going to actually do it? How exactly team is going to be built? And if you want to actually build the change, how exactly you're going to get the change? How you're going to resolve the conflicts within the group? The third block is concentrating on group related aspects.
So the
Okay.
yes.
And the fourth is talking about learning, basically on improvisation, basically what is this particular process of learning and how you're going to manage this particular team to, so that they can actually the organizations can grow, right? So the fourth one is more about the process, the learning process and the improvisation process in and around the organization behavior. So that's how this is all organized.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with block 1, we would have covered what exactly OB is, what are the various concepts in and around OB. Now we are stepping into block 2, unit 1, which is mainly concentrating on what is job satisfaction.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the overall OB subject. I
So
think
that
knowing this, I think half of the subject would be, you can easily grasp where exactly you need to concentrate on, what you need to actually read, what not, kind of a thing, right?
yes.
So, so now going into job satisfaction. So let me just tell you how this particular unit is organized, right? The first and foremost part is talking about what is job satisfaction, right? So history of job satisfaction, when exactly people start worrying about the job satisfaction, what exactly is the definition of the job satisfaction, what exactly are the various aspects within the job satisfaction, and what are the various types of job satisfaction. Okay, so this is all covering under nature of job satisfaction.
Okay.
Okay, so next come the measurement. Now how exactly you're going to measure. Okay,
Yeah.
and what is the preconditions, basically antecedents to the job satisfaction, what really affects the job satisfaction, right? So that is
Okay.
the other part. Now the last part is, okay, what if the job satisfaction is messed up, what are the outcomes, or what if job satisfaction is very high, right? What exactly it is going to affect. So net to net, what we are learning is, now first part is what is this job satisfaction. Second part is how you are going to measure it. Third part is how exactly the job satisfaction is going to be, I mean, what are the antecedents of job satisfaction and what are the outcomes of job satisfaction. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
See,
And
most
Praveen,
of this,
Praveen, the next one, the motivation, that also will be something in parallel rails, right?
exactly, motivation would also be in a similar style.
Okay.
Okay.
Definition, then what is the history and all that, then some what is the input and what is the output, something like that, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. So now comes to what exactly we need to concentrate on, right? From the questions part. Naturally, history is a crap part. Yes, it is good to actually, learn. So if I'm talking about the exam part of it. Most often, this talks about when exactly historically somebody started thinking about job satisfaction, how they initially thought about it, etc., etc. It is very unlikely to come in the exam. Okay, it was never asked.
Okay.
Okay,
Hmm.
so it is good to read, but something that, yeah, read and enjoy. That's all, right? So the other one, which is important, is the meaning of job satisfaction.
Okay.
Okay, so typically in most of the cases, whether it is motivation, job satisfaction, or whatever it is, there would be multiple definitions that would be there. Okay,
Yes.
so it is not single definition.
Okay.
So everybody would be talking about the same aspect in different words, basically. Ultimately, all of them would be talking about similar thing. So net to net, there would be in the end. So how the typically content is organized is, it will say that so and so scientist gave this definition in quotes. So and so scientist gave this definition in quotes.
Hmm.
And then there would be a summary saying
Okay.
that, okay, based on all above definitions, important points that you need to be bothering about job satisfaction is this.
Yes.
Okay. So now that is called as the features of the job satisfaction. So basically, this is like summarizing from the above definitions. Okay. So let me give few examples of definition and then go to the summary part. So that summary part is the most important aspect.
Okay.
Okay. So if you
Yep.
can remember the exact quote to quote definition of a particular scientist, well and good. See, for example, Cook told a pleasurable or positive emotional state resulting from appraisal of one's job or job experience. Basically, what is the pleasure or the positive emotion that a person would get out of job is what Cook told in 1981. I don't know, right? So the some other guy told an attitude which manifests itself in the evaluation of a job and employing organization contributing suitability to the attainment of personal objectives. Okay. Similarly, some other guy told the fulfillment of gratification of certain needs that are associated with one's work. I mean, these sentences are very self-explanatory.
Hmm.
It's again talking about the same satisfaction in different means. So one is talking about emotional aspect, the other one is talking about the attitude towards it. So fulfillment and gratification part of it in different words, net to net, it is same.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So these are the 3 points which are very important to remember rather than the quote to quote definitions above.
Praveen, the last one is very simple. The extent to which people like or dislike their jobs.
Exactly. Right. I mean, remember the shortest one, that should be fine. But important aspect is remembering these three
Okay. Yeah. The
characteristics.
condensed version.
Okay. So these 3 characteristics are the important things for us to actually to be concerned about.
Okay.
First one, job satisfaction is an emotional response. So basically, what it is saying is it is something which is associated with the emotion of an employee.
Hmm.
Basically.
Okay.
Okay. The above definitions are coming to these conclusions. That is what these characteristics are really talking about. Job
Hmm.
satisfaction is the extent to which working environments meets the job satisfaction needs and expectations of the employees. Basically, it is perception of the employees which is coming into picture. So employee is thinking about something, organization is doing something, So job satisfaction comes to that extent to which these two perceptions really meet. Okay. The third characteristic which talks about is evaluation of the job and organization that shows up in significant work behaviors like productivity, absenteeism, turnover, etc., etc. So basically, this is talking about outcome of the job satisfaction, right? So ultimately, job satisfaction will be shown in this way.
Okay.
Okay, so it would result in these aspects. So these are the three aspects which are coming in those particular definitions in different ways. That's all. One, the emotional response, basically how emotionally they are connected, right? Whether they are happy, they are sad about the job, etc., etc. Second, whether perception is meeting, whether my expectation is meeting with organizational expectation. That is the second part. The third part is about, okay, finally, what is the outcome? Are they productive, absenting, or turnover? What they are actually doing, right? So that is the third part. These are the three parts in the definitions which are there above. Okay.
Okay.
So now the other part is there are three aspects that as job satisfaction is really talking about. Again, telling the above three in different way. Okay. This is exactly the above telling in a different way. Effective. What is your emotional response when somebody asks, "Are you doing good about your job?" You're saying, "My job is good or bad," is an emotional aspect, right? So this is effective. Second, cognitive. Hey, I don't know what is this Zoom phone. Just a moment. I'm getting some Zoom call.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. 1 minute.
Aliens. Affective, cognitive, and behavioral. Okay, affective is the emotional one. Cognitive is how much my expectation is met by the organization's expectation. And behavioral is, do I resign and run away, or do I work productively and all that?
Yes, exactly. Whether I want to give the best for my job or not.
Yeah, so I think the first one is affective, the affection part, emotional.
Exactly. Second one is cognitive.
Okay.
Am I achieving my goals?
Meeting.
Whether my salary is good enough or not.
Yeah.
And the third one is behavioral. So telling the above three aspects in a different way. That's all. It is
Correct.
the above characteristic. I kind of put a short form of it to remember easily. Okay. So
Yes.
now comes to we are still in the part of job satisfaction. We are still understanding job satisfaction. We just finished understanding the meaning of job satisfaction. Now we know what exactly the job satisfaction is.
Yes.
Right. So the next part is it does have multiple facets to it. You can definitely ask, how do you feel about job? They can say whether it is good or bad. But if they say good, what is good in it? Whether your pay is good, whether you got promotions quickly, or whether your supervisor is good. So all these are facets. So there are multiple facets that would be there in the satisfaction, job satisfaction. These five are most common. In some cases, people divide it even into the smaller pieces. Okay, but these five are very, very significant facets.
Okay.
Either you can measure it at global level or you can measure it as facet level.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what is global and facet of satisfaction. Okay. So, and job satisfaction can be two types. Okay. It can be intrinsic job satisfaction. It can be extrinsic job satisfaction. Okay.
Okay.
What is intrinsic? Intrinsic is something that you like about the job, nature of the job, the way organization is. Okay. So, and possibilities of the growth. So you like work, basically what you are doing. Okay. Extrinsic aspects is about, am I being paid well?
Okay.
Am I being my manager is treating me well.
Mm.
So these are extrinsic aspects.
Okay.
So intrinsic is the core satisfaction of the job. So
Mm.
what a lot of scientists say that is intrinsic is the most basic aspect of job satisfaction,
Mm.
and extrinsic is not as critical as intrinsic, but it becomes a very, what do you say, as a healthy thing that you need to maintain. Basically, it is to that, okay, yes, somebody is very very satisfied with job and his pay is very very less.
Mm.
Obviously, his satisfaction would go down. But extrinsic factors are something that you need to take care. But intrinsic is the most important one, is some of the scientists really say, right?
Okay.
So okay, so now we understood. So what we covered now, we covered nature of job satisfaction.
Mm.
So if there is a question that comes which talks about nature of job satisfaction, you need to write meaning of job satisfaction, which we talked about, and
Mm.
you need to write facets. You need to write intrinsic and extrinsic.
Okay.
Okay. So now comes to the measurement part. Okay. Measurement part has got two ways you can measure. One is indirect and the other is direct. So there are two ways.
Okay.
Okay. Indirect is something that you are going to measure based on his performance. So
Oh.
somebody is frequently, absconding from work, or
Mm.
he is getting away from work. That means he is not satisfied, right? So you are not directly asking whether are you satisfied with your job, but you can actually see his from his behavior, from his work.
Yes.
Okay, that is indirect. Direct is you are directly asking him, okay, are you good with your job? Are you
Mm.
satisfied? That is direct. So generally, indirect has got, obviously you can measure the performance, you can measure what is his psychological health, etc., whatever that is. That would be the way that you would measure the indirect. You would not directly ask, are you satisfied with job, rather all the other things. Direct, you can actually, there are multiple questionnaires that are available, scales that are available, using which you can measure.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the typical scales. Job description, we don't really have to remember each and every scale, but this is actually good to know. Where one is, see, the questions that are coming is mainly on the classification part. They will ask what is indirect, what is direct, kind of a thing. You don't really have to remember all the scale names. Okay,
Mm.
so net to net, what I could say is there are two types of scales that are there. Okay, first type of scale is concentrating on not just overall job satisfaction, but these individual facets as well. So they have questionnaire. See, for example, job descriptive index has got 5 facets: pay, promotions, promotion opportunities, co-work, supervision, etc., etc. So when you actually measure using this questionnaire, you will get for all these facets. Okay. Similarly, Minnesota satisfaction questionnaire has got 20 such facets,
Oh.
and it has got 100 questions.
Mm.
Okay. Job satisfaction survey, similarly, it does have certain 9 facets.
Mhm.
Okay. So apart from having these individual facet wise surveys, we also have something which measures global. So this will not go at the facet. This will actually have a questionnaire which is going to give a score which tells whether he is satisfied or not. That's all.
Mhm.
Okay. So these are the two types of scales that are there. Fine. So this is how you measure your job satisfaction.
Okay.
So now come to the antecedents. So basically we learned what is job satisfaction. We learned how to measure it. Now we are actually learning what are the things which are going to affect the job satisfaction.
Okay.
So personal characteristics and work situation characteristics both affects job satisfaction.
Okay.
So for example, in personal characteristic, age and years of experience. What
Mm.
research says is as you age and as you grow in experience, you tend to be more satisfied with your job.
Mm.
Similarly, gender. So there are various studies which actually gender has got a very controversial subjects. Some say that women are more, what do you say, challenged in work. They do have lesser promotions, etc., etc. Some evidence says that that is not the case, etc. So there is gender as a factor, but this is a controversial factor. Okay, occupation level. So as you grow up in the organization, there is a tendency that there is a more chances of you being more satisfied because you have more control in the organization. So a senior leader might not really feel the same pressure as, I mean, he might actually have more control, or rather he would be more satisfied because he's the one who is actually taking the ship forward. So it is very easy to align to his goals, right? Similarly, end worker might not have a similar control.
Yep.
Education. So what research says is, this is again a controversial subject. Some of the research says that if you are more educated, there are more chances that you are not satisfied because you have more expectations. Personality. So personality is the aspect that I don't have to say. So some people are frustrated for everything. Some people are satisfied for everything. So obviously the nature of the person would really dictate a lot as far as the satisfaction is concerned, right? Cultural factors. So some of the research says that Western cultures has got more satisfaction when compared to Eastern cultures. So they say that Western cultures mainly concentrate more on the positive aspects rather than the negative aspects, whereas Eastern cultures mainly concentrate on the negative aspect. So again, this is a very inconsistent research. Every research paper says in a different way. But nevertheless, what we are understanding here is these are factors that could affect your satisfaction. And the other thing is the work situation characteristics. Basically, your work, type of work that you are doing, what is the pay that you are going to get, what are the promotions, what is the supervision, what is your supervisor, which group you are working, what are the various working conditions. All these things are work related categories. I don't have to explain these. I think these are self-explanatory, right? Net to net, what we are saying on what are the factors that could be affecting job satisfaction, there are personal characteristics, there are work situation characteristics. Okay. So now we are done with what are the precursors for your job satisfaction as well. Now, what are the outcomes? What if somebody is not satisfied, right? Or what if he is very, very satisfied? So there is a theoretical model which talks about how exactly this, dissatisfaction could result into. So which is called as EVLN model. Okay, so there are 4 possibilities. The reaction could be in 4 ways, right? Very easy to remember. Exit. We don't have to say somebody is dissatisfied, he quit the job. He is exiting the organization. This is one of the reaction. Second reaction, voice. You will go and fight. You will say, I don't like this, I like this. You vocally raise the issue. Third way of you telling is loyalty. Basically, you will patiently wait. Say that, okay, yes, I love this organization. Yes, I understand my pay is not good, but in the next appraisal, I might get better pay. This is loyalty. Neglect. Yes, my pay is not good, but I don't care. That's okay. Enjoy. Right? So this is ignore. So these are the 4 ways that anybody can actually react to. So this is called as EVLN model.
Sounds like evolution.
It sounds like evolution, yes.
Okay.
So apart from that, so there would be effect on all these things. Obviously, your job performance will be affected. So we don't have to really explain when somebody is not satisfied or satisfied how job performance would be affected. Withdrawal behavior. So basically, if you're not satisfied, there is a tendency that you withdraw from it. You don't really go into that particular aspect. You rather not really get into it, right? So you withdraw from the work. Your manager told something to be done. you really, not convinced with it, dissatisfied with it, you rather just do it just for a customary purpose, or rather you try to get away from that. Workplace deviance. So this could be like you're absent. Your manager wanted you to do something and you put a sick leave and then got away with it, or rather you are absent to that particular meeting,
Yep.
or else you just did something which is like just to as a formality you completed, but it doesn't have any relevance to whatever that he asked for. Okay, so all these are deviances, workplace deviances. So customer satisfaction. So obviously your customer satisfaction would be affected if all these things are like having a trouble with, right?
Yep.
So so there is a lot of text on these every aspect, but I'm pretty sure that any one of us can actually write n number of words to describe these things. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not going through word by word. I think these are very, very self-explanatory.
Safety performance means they'll be careless about safety. Yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So, so, so one question that is asked, I think most important one is this life satisfaction. Okay. So this is little tricky when compared to the above. Above ones are very, very straightforward, and they are never asked in the exam. Okay. Life situation satisfaction is one thing which was asked. Okay.
Mhm.
So life satisfaction is about your job satisfaction intervening with your general life. You have your personal life, you have job life, right? So what we are saying is, as an outcome of this job satisfaction, even your personal life could be affected. There is a relationship between your overall life and job life, right? So that is exactly what this section is talking about. So there are three possible relations when we talk about this life satisfaction and job satisfaction. Okay, spillover. So what spillover means is you have a very hard job in your hard day in the job, you are not satisfied, you might go back and scream on your children, you might actually have a fight with your spouse. So basically your job experience, you are taking it back to home, and it is affecting your non-work life, and
Mm.
vice versa. It could happen vice versa. You had a bad day at home, had a fight with spouse, and in the meeting you are actually fighting with the colleague. You are trying to actually take that anger on a colleague, right? It can be vice versa. So that is called as spillover. Basically life, non-work life is spilling over to the work life and vice versa.
Mm.
Segmentation. Basically you have a clear separation where you are saying that my job life is different, my work life is different. I don't have any relationship between these two.
Mm.
The third one is compensation.
Okay.
So basically, you are dissatisfied with one, and you are taking that dissatisfaction by doing better in the other. You're compensating. So
Mm.
basically, you had a fight with your wife, you don't want to go home. Now you are sitting in the office and doing work for 12 hours.
Mm.
You compensated, basically. That is what is the compensation.
Mm.
Okay. Similarly, you had a problem with your job. So now go home and enjoy, have a movie together with your friends or family or whatever it is. Right. So that is what is the compensation part.
Mm.
So research says that 68% of the people does have spillover.
Mm.
Most of the people does have an interference between job experience and work life.
Mm.
20% does have segmentation. They separate. 12% does go into compensation area.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So
Praveen,
anyway, so the research talks more about spillover, which does have an interference of job and life. This is all as far as the unit on job satisfaction is concerned. So we learned nature, meaning, and then how to measure, what are the things which are affecting the job satisfaction, and what are the outcomes of it. That's all. Important questions, these features of job satisfaction, okay, intrinsic and extrinsic job satisfaction, direct and indirect measurement, okay, and life satisfaction. These are the questions which came in exam.
Okay, that picture, why I forgot about the picture. What was that smiley
So
picture?
this is just telling how exactly work-life balance and other things are related. So this is talking about how job satisfaction is affecting your life satisfaction.
Okay.
So this picture is for visually to imagine that, okay, there is so how exactly your job satisfaction is tied up with the overall satisfaction, right? So basically 28% of your job satisfaction is affected because of your work-life balance. If your work-life balance is bad, that is influencing 28% of your job satisfaction. Okay, so if the opportunities and learning is bad, it is going to impact 27% of your satisfaction.
Okay.
So imagine that this is the whole job satisfaction. In this, 28% comes to this work-life balance, 27% comes to the opportunities and learn and growth, and goals to be accomplished is 20. Your co-workers are going to aid for 13%. Your relationship with the boss is going to be 11%. And 1% is, I don't know, something affected, I'm not satisfied with your job. That's all. Okay. This is how the overall job satisfaction pie looking like. And this is apart from the salary. This is what is the pie looking like. Okay, so this is not an exam question. This is actually, while reading through, I thought to give some picture in terms of, okay, what are the various aspects here from job satisfaction point of view. Okay. Okay. Right. So that's all is all this particular job satisfaction.
Stop the recording.